What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV, aka Darth Apocalypse. You know, I think I told you guys that one of the most conflicting things about this upcoming season is the fact that as much as I dislike LeBron James and I don't rock with him, it's going to be conflicting for me this year because he's on the same team with a guy who I have so much respect for, that being Jaylen Brown, right? So it's going to be hard for me to root against Philly because I know that if Philly fails, the media is going to use Jaylen Brown as they're going to have him as the scapegoat for why this team has failed. It's going to be him and Edgecombe, I believe. VJ Edgecombe and Jaylen Brown, because Tyrese Maxey is for clutch, and usually, unless you personally run afoul of clutch, or LeBron James, I should say, you're going to be left alone by the media. But having said all of that, right, I'm just tired of the disrespect that this guy constantly gets. Constantly. You know, I didn't even do a video about it, but The Ringer came out with the top 50 players of the 2025-26 upcoming season, or the projected best players. And they had Jaylen Brown at number 14, LeBron at number 20, which doesn't make any sense because what you're saying is that you didn't even see Jaylen Brown as a top 10 player last year, and he wasn't in MVP conversation, right? Which is absurd to me. Now you be in the conversation. But then you have Jason Tatum ranked ahead of him at number 13, I think it was. So you have Jason Tatum at number 13 projected into this next season, even though he's coming off an Achilles rupture. So I want everybody to keep the same energy. If Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics don't do better than they did last year, I don't want to hear no excuse about no Achilles. I don't hear shit. I don't hear none of that shit. Because people keep maintaining that even with the injury, he's better than Jaylen Brown. So let's keep the same energy. But that's not even what it was even about. That's just the lower level of the insult cake. The top level of the insult cake is that on the 520 podcast, Jeff Teague said, and I think he was responding to a guy named Mook or something on that show. I don't really watch that show, but I think the other guy's name was Mook. So Mook was saying that, I believe he said that Jaylen Brown was an MVP, a top 10 player, I think it was. I think he said Jaylen Brown was a top 10 level player. Jeff Teague disagreed with that. As a matter of fact, Jeff Teague said that if you swap Steph Curry with Jaylen Brown, that Celtics team would have went to the Eastern Conference Finals. If you swap Steph Curry with Jaylen Brown, that team would have went to the Eastern Conference Finals. So what he's saying is, in effect, that not only would they have won 56, 57, 58 games with Curry without Jason Tatum for most of the season, even if Tatum didn't play in that game 7, Curry would have willed that team to victory. And not only just let him out of the first round, got him out of the first round, but he got him out of the second round and into the conference finals. That's what he's saying, right? And I'm not talking about prime Steph Curry. He said 38-year-old Steph Curry would have done that. Look, man, I get it. I get it. Jaylen Brown has pissed off the wrong people. There are certain people in the media that don't like him. I've seen this. I've seen this before. I know how this thing plays out. He's pissed off certain people within the NBA infrastructure. I know how this plays out. They're trying to minimize his talent. They're trying to minimize his earning power. You see people saying he should be making superstar money, even though we see plainly how many fucking points, rebounds, assists. We see all of the shit he's averaging, but they're trying to convince people that he's not even better than Derek White. Okay, then. Mind you, that as I'm talking about they're saying 38-year-old Steph Curry will be able to do this. First of all, 38-year-old Steph Curry can't even stay healthy enough to play, for the most part, 70, 75 games any fucking more. So you don't even know about his consistency to stay healthy. Is this the same Steph Curry that got hurt in game one of last year's semis against the Timberwolves? And this is the same Steph Curry that has been hurt quite a few times since the 2020 bubble? Then he missed like all but 5 games one year with a broken hand, and he's played like an average. I think he's played like an average of 50-something games a year since the bubble. So his health, number one, is an issue. Number two, Steph Curry's played on some loaded teams since his success. Let's be honest. He's played on some very loaded teams. That's why he only won Finals MVP in that 4th championship run he's in. Now, we know he should have won it the first time, but still. Iggy won it the first time. Then for championship 2 and number 3, it went to Kevin Durant. You know, who is Jaylen Brown playing with for the most part? Jason Tatum? And he's won a championship ring and a Finals MVP. Now, he's 3 championships short of Steph Curry, but, you know, his journey isn't over yet. And I'm going to tell you something. If they somehow, some way, I don't think it's going to happen. If the Sixers win a championship this year, I don't give a fuck what the media do. I'm going to give all the credit and praise to Jaylen Brown. And only Jaylen Brown. Because I'm one spiteful ass nigga. And I don't want to hear no excuses for Jason Tatum if Boston don't fucking be in the top 3 or 4 in the East. I don't want to hear no excuses. Well, I mean, you know, he lost. I don't care what he lost. I don't care what he lost. Y'all ain't want to give Jaylen Brown no praise for leading them to 56 wins, mostly without Jason Tatum last year? When y'all knew going into that year, the expectation was, at best, that Boston was going to be a play-in team. But you didn't want to give this man any credit. I'm not talking about subscribers. I'm talking about those who don't want to give him any credit. Right? Let's be a little bit more honest about Steph Curry when it comes to some things. People give Jaylen Brown so much flack for blowing that 3-1 lead against the Philadelphia 76ers, right? Fine. But nobody ever gives Steph Curry any flack for blowing that 3-1 lead against the Cavaliers. All I hear is excuses. Oh, well, you know, he was hurt. Well, Jason Tatum missed game 7. Well, he still had to step up. That's his team. Oh, now it's his team. I thought y'all said it was Jason Tatum's team. Or is it that you just don't like Jaylen Brown? Let's just keep it a buck. It's about who you like. and who you don't like. Because I would say, who's more significant, Jason Tatum or Draymond Green? Because yeah, Draymond Green was playing the best basketball of his life, but shouldn't Curry and company still should have won without Draymond Green in Game 5? They still should have won. And yeah, we know it was a suspension, it was bullshit and all that, but they still should have won that fucking game and won that series. Hell, the first championship that they won in 2015. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. They did win it without Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love playing. Then the next two championship rings on the super squad with Kevin Durant. Now, granted, they did win a championship in 2022 against a young Celtic squad. Congratulations, you know. But to be fair, has Steph Curry ever won a championship without Klay Thompson or another superstar? Because essentially that's what you're trying to say that Steph Curry at age 38 is going to do. He's going to take them to a conference finals without another star. Because Tatum wasn't Tatum when he came back. He was still trying to work back into being the all-star player that he was, perennial all-star that he was. By the way, correct me if I'm wrong, y'all, but wasn't Jaylen Brown on that 2018 Celtics team that took LeBron's Cavaliers to 7 games? Maybe I'm wrong about that, but let me see. 2018 Celtics. Why, by golly, he was. 21 years old he be. And let's see what he did during those playoffs. Shot 47% from the field, 39% from downtown. He was shot 64% from the line, but he averaged 18 points, 5 rebounds, 1.4 assists, almost 1 steal. Huh. I believe he was a rookie then, right? And they took that Cavaliers team to 7 games without Kyrie Irving. To the conference finals, game 7, and only lost by 8 points. Held the Cavaliers to 87 points. So, why so much slander for Jaylen Brown, man? Why people only got him 6 spots ahead of LeBron James in the NBA this upcoming season, man? What are we doing, bro? That's all I'm saying, man. It's disrespectful. Man, that's all I got to say about some scary stuff.